quiet of night, I whispered my plea, holding her close, hoping for her decree.
The spade scrapes, metal on earth, and a hand lays a pebble into place. Listen, a small clack, a breath, the soft blessing words that travel the corner of a rice plot. That single line of sound is how a village remembers its edges. Hello, I'm Sam Nang Bradley. Today we walk field edges and family compounds to meet the people who mark land, stone setters, oath keepers, and the mediators who stitch neighbor to neighbor. We'll listen close to the rhythm of a boundary being kept.
On this walk, I promise 3 portraits: an elder who reads lineage into stones, a commune mediator who guides conversations after the floods, and a youth blending GPS trails with grandmother's memory. I'll name no houses, no coordinates, and I'll remind you.
Context Corner. In many Khmer villages, boundaries are a mix of things you can see and things you carry in your head. Stones set in a line, half-buried wooden stakes, a small offering cup tucked at a corner. Sometimes an old story does more work than any survey. Who set the stone? Who remembers the planting year? Which family carved a notch or wrapped a red thread? These markers travel seasons. Monsoon floods erase little furrows. Goats trample new shoots. Land changes hands through marriage. And so the marking practices include ritual and conversation as much as measurement.
From a cultural standpoint, the layers matter. Ritual reinforces memory, and memory reinforces the right to a place. Local mediators often prefer to start with those communal memories rather than legal forms. That's why we're careful here. We talk about processes and care, not individual disputes. The show notes list community liaisons and NGOs who work ethically with villages.
Field Story, the Elder Stone Setter. I met Preya, an elder with weathered fingers who still carries a small hammer in his basket. He pointed to a low row of stones along a terrace and said, "My grandmother set this one when she married. We measure by stories more than by rope." He told me about the rite. The family brings rice, a splash of water, sometimes a cup of tea left near the stone, and everyone who remembers the event is invited to speak the year into the soil. When someone later wants to move a stone, the family gathers. The voices are the boundary's witness.
Preya explained why some stones are never moved. He said, "A stone remembers the people who put it. If you move it, you move memory." He tapped the ground and laughed softly. There's humor there, too. The village joke that a stone will scold anyone who tries to shift it without asking. Those jokes are practical. They build social resistance to unilateral changes.
What this reveals is a kind of living record. In the anthropological sense, a marker is a node of social knowledge. It's not simply geometry. It's kinship, seasons, shared work, and the memory of harvests. When an elder names who set a stone, they're invoking lineage, and that invocation can be enough to stop a dispute before it starts.
We sat for tea under a thatch roof, while Preya mapped the line with his walking stick. He described the day a marker was reset after a flood, how neighbors watched, how everyone agreed on the new sightline. He said the ritual matters because it makes the change public, and public changes are easier to live with. It's a form of accountability woven into everyday life.
Field Story, the commune mediator. Later that week, I joined a small meeting under a mango tree where a mediator named Dara led a conversation after heavy rains had shifted a drainage channel and muddied a boundary. He spoke softly but firmly. We begin by hearing everyone's memory. When was the last time your family planted along this line? Who remembers the old post?
The research tells us negotiation often starts with a neutral prompt. Tell me the last time your family harvested here. That prompt asks for sensory memory. Who planted, when, how deep the planting furrow ran. These details are checkable in the community way. Someone else will remember the same harvest, the same shade tree. The mediator uses those echoes to build a shared timeline.
Dara led the group through a simple practice. Each person names a temporal anchor, the year the uncle died, or when the new well was sunk, and the group places that anchor on the landscape. Nobody leaves angry. The point is repair, not victory. I recorded the murmur of agreement, the soft counting of years, the way hands drew invisible lines in the air. I will not name the families, and I removed identifying details from my notes, but I can tell you how the conversation moved, from claim to story to ritualized agreement, and finally to a small shared cup of tea to seal the decision.
Soundscape interlude. Imagine the path between two fields, a loose chorus of distant market calls, children running through a footpath, the cicadas settling into their afternoon hum, and beneath it all, a low, steady wind through rice stems. Breathe that in. These sounds are the context in which boundaries live, alive, moving, and held together by human voices.
Field Story, the Youth Mapper and Memory Projects. At an NGO workshop, I met Lena, a young mapper who carries a phone and her grandmother's stories. She told me, GPS tells one story, my grandmother tells another. We have to put them together so the map doesn't erase people. She showed me how she marks a site as community memory in her notes, rather than a dot to share publicly. She also described ethical rules she follows. Always ask permission before recording, never publish exact coordinates for private plots, and route requests for documentation through commune leaders.
Consider this perspective. Technology can help preserve oral memory if shaped by local rules. The evidence shows us that mapping that disregards ritual or consent can harm people. Lena's approach, annotating, anonymizing, and sharing through local channels, keeps the map as a memory tool rather than a trespass tool.
Lena laughed when I asked about modern tools. She said, "We teach the phone to be humble." That phrase stuck with me. Mapping becomes another practice to learn. When to mark, when to listen, when to leave the stone and its story alone. Young people I met are inventing rituals for new tools, small consent forms, audio bullets that hold a story without exposing a home's location, and community servers with restricted access. Practical takeaway and travel tip: if you visit rural Cambodia and you see a stone line, a post with a red thread, or a small offering cup, ask before you step over it. Do not photograph offerings or write down precise locations. If you want to support documentation or mediation, route your interest through the commune office or the vetted NGOs listed in our show notes. Respecting local protocol keeps you and the community safe.
We must also emphasize, this episode offers cultural context, not legal counsel. If you or someone you know faces a land dispute, seek accredited legal aid or official commune mediation services. Never attempt to intervene directly. Well-meaning actions can complicate sensitive situations.
Final reflection. Boundaries are less about dividing and more about holding. They are practices of care. Songs that remind families where they plant, cups that bless a corner, mediations that renew neighborliness. Walking those edges taught me that belonging is made fragile and strong by the same hands that tuck a stone into earth.
Thank you for walking the edges with me today. If you enjoyed this quiet, listening kind of episode, please subscribe to Ancient Echoes KH. Share this episode with someone who loves stories of place, and check the show notes for links to community mediators and memory projects that work with villages respectfully. Until next time, quiet stones, loud stories.
Oh, shining diamond, flawless and red, you stand so quiet, soft in the air. I dared not to rush, you feared you'd flee. Your heart too pure to belong to me. If you turn away, I reach and bind, press my hand, still body and mind. Your brows I trace, your breath I steal. This mark I place is dark and real. From this moment break and fall, hear the spell, obey the call. False love born from sacred lies, second one who whispers through closed eyes. Follow me, don't fight, don't run, your soul is caught, my work is done. Empty will, your light undone, under spell, under Sigmund. Crystal beauty, diamond bright, caught between shadow, charm and night. Time won't save you, truth won't last. This vow is carved, the line is cast. My words are smoke, my touch is fire. I bend your heart to dark desire.